has done it. They have beaten Notre Dame 5 consecutive times.
Jason Teague running down the sideline for that last touchdown, and then my roommate and I go and grab our Spartan S flag and plant it on Notre Dame's 50. We saw one of the cheerleaders waving it. We looked at each other and said, let's go grab this thing. Celebrating, running down Notre Dame's field with that flag. Oh, it was crazy. Everybody was celebrating, jumping around. It was great. I didn't get really recruited by a whole lot of people. The only schools that really recruited me were Harvard, Yale, Kent State, and Michigan State. I kind of grew up a Michigan State fan when Plaxico was still playing there. I liked him, and I couldn't pass up a chance to play in the Big Ten because we had those extra days of camp where the freshmen could come and you had 2 days and it's just you guys. And we get to that first camp and first day of it, and we're taking every rep and they're running us in the ground, and I've never been yelled at so much in my life. And I get to my dorm room, I try calling my mom and tell her, like, this isn't for me, you gotta come get me. And she tells me no, so I call my grandma. I'm like, Grandma, you gotta come get me. This isn't for me. And everybody told me no, so I had to stick with it.
Today I'm joined by Eric Smith, Michigan State safety from 2002 to 2005, and during his time at Michigan State, Smith was one of the most feared safeties in the land. He was a tackling machine so much that he was drafted in the third round of the 2006 NFL Draft to the New York Jets, where he spent his entire 7-year career, even becoming a team captain on the defense. Eric, thanks for joining me today. How are you doing today?
Pretty good, how are you?
I'm doing well, Eric. Thanks for asking. But let's start at the very beginning of your football career. When did you first start playing football, and did you play any other sports growing up?
I started playing baseball when I was 5, t-ball and then some travel baseball, and then I didn't start playing football till 7th grade.
So you started on the baseball field then. Did you happen to have, though, a favorite football player growing up?
It was always Barry Sanders.
Eric, when did you first start getting recruited for football, and what was that whole process like for you? Did you have a few schools that you were interested in?
I didn't get really recruited by a whole lot of people. The only schools that really recruited me were Harvard, Yale, Kent State, and Michigan State.
Those are some fantastic academic schools. Ultimately, you chose Michigan State. Why did you pick the green and white? I
kind of grew up a Michigan State fan when Plaxico was still playing there. I liked him, and I couldn't pass up a chance to play in the Big Ten.
I'm talking with Eric Smith, Michigan State safety from 2002 to 2005, and Eric had just chosen Michigan State over Harvard, Yale, and Kent State. So, Eric, when you got to Michigan State, what were your expectations for yourself and for the team?
I was just trying to play. When D'Antonio actually recruited me when I was coming out of high school, and he told me, he's like, I can't guarantee you if you're going to come here and play or you're going to start or anything. It's basically going to be on what you do when you get here and how hard you work.
Eric, did you have a welcome to college football moment during your career at Michigan State? In other words, was there a play or a game or something even off the field when you realized, man, this is not high school football anymore?
I think it was when the freshmen first got up there, because we had those extra days of camp where the freshmen could come and you had 2 days and it's just you guys. And we get to that first camp and first day of it, and we're taking every rep and they're running us in the ground, and I've never been yelled at so much in my life. And I get to my dorm room, I try calling my mom and tell her, like, this isn't for me, you gotta come get me. And she tells me no, so I call my grandma. I'm like, Grandma, you gotta come get me. This isn't for me. And everybody told me no, so I had to stick with it.
Well, I think you made the right choice in sticking with football after your mom and grandma said you had to, because in your very first start at Michigan State against Wisconsin, you had 13 tackles. Have you always had a nose for the ball, or did that come natural for you because you are 15th overall in career tackles at Michigan State?
I always liked contact, and I always joked and said I didn't have a whole lot of concern for my well-being. So, I like tackling, so anytime I got an opportunity to do it, I enjoyed it.
Talking with Eric Smith, Michigan State safety from 2002 to 2005, and Eric, during the 2002 season, head coach Bobby Williams was let go. Did you or the team sense that that was coming, and was it a difficult period for you, having your coach get let go right in the middle of your career?
It was difficult because the players, we all liked Bobby, and watching what happened in the media and what would happen during the games with the fans, and you kind of felt bad for him. But with the whole coaching transition, like for a lot of us, it was the first time we've been in a situation like that, so we didn't really know what to think or what to expect afterwards.
Not only did you go through a coaching change, but you had to go through a ton of injuries during your career at Michigan State. You had a torn ACL, a torn meniscus, a torn rotator cuff. At any point, did you feel like giving up, and how did you manage to get through all of that?
I guess it goes back to saying I didn't have a whole lot of concern for my well-being. You play hard during the season, things get messed up, you fix them after the season, then just come back next year.
Your sophomore season, Michigan State starts off 7-1. You had wins against top 25 teams Iowa and Minnesota. Iowa was a 10-point win at home, while Minnesota was a 6-point win on the road. Did either of those wins give you confidence that you guys could play with anyone in the country?
I think at that time we felt like we were rolling. We were pretty high and thought, man, we got a shot to do some great things, and then kind of went downhill after that.
Whenever Michigan State played Notre Dame, that seemed to be your favorite opponent to play because you always had a fantastic game. In 2003, you had 12 tackles and was named Big Ten Player of the Week. In 2004, you had 19 tackles. I mean, how do you even get 19 tackles in a game?
I have no idea. It's probably not a good thing.
So what was it about Notre Dame that always got you up for the game?
There was always that, it was always like a rivalry, and they always, at that time, Notre Dame always called us like the little brother. Like they always said we're the school to the west. Like they talked bad about Michigan State, so it just made you get up a little bit. It was easier to get up for that game just because of all the trash they talked beforehand.
Talking with Eric Smith, Michigan State safety from 2002 to 2005. And Eric, speaking of rivalries, let's talk the Michigan one. You played in some real classic overtime games against Michigan. Unfortunately, they didn't go your way. How tough were some of those games to swallow?
It was tough because, you know, every time you get to the schedules come out, you circle that game on the calendar, but it was tough, some of them games. I remember one in the big house when we were up, I think it was 17 with maybe 6-7 minutes to go, and somehow Braylon Edwards scores like 3 touchdowns and they end up beating us. Things like that. It's been probably 10 years and I still haven't forgot it.
Eric, heading into your senior season at Michigan State, what were your personal goals? What did you want to accomplish in your final season as a Spartan?
Personal goals were just to play as well as I could, and I wasn't really thinking about anything past that. I was just trying to win a Big Ten championship because we hadn't had a chance, even the opportunity to play for it. So that was our main goal going into the season, and then basically trying to stay healthy.
You were named team captain for Michigan State during your senior season. You were seen as a leader both on and off the field by your teammates. What did that mean to you?
It means a lot because it means you have the guys' respect, and having your teammates respect is probably the biggest thing. When the guys look up to you and listen to you, and it makes you feel good.
In 2005, Michigan State played at Notre Dame, and that game became an all-time classic for Michigan State. In overtime, Michigan State wins 44-41. What do you remember about that game? What sticks out to you?
Probably Jason Teague running down the sideline for that last touchdown, and then my roommate and I go and grab our Spartan S flag and plant it on Notre Dame's 50.
Eric, that flag planting is a legendary scene around East Lansing. So you were part of the group that did that?
Yeah. I think we were taking pictures in front of it.
Talking with Eric Smith, Michigan State safety from 2002 to 2005, and after Michigan State defeated Notre Dame on the road in a 44-41 victory, Eric and his roommate stuck the Michigan State flag in the middle of the field. Eric, what made you want to do that?
I honestly can't tell you. We saw one of the cheerleaders waving it. We looked at each other and let's go grab this thing.
During your senior season, Michigan State played Purdue, and you returned a fumble 65 yards for a touchdown, but it seemed like that ball changed hands 3 or 4 times before you got it. Can you take me through that play?
I remember they fumbled, and I think Dave Harron might have picked it up, dropped it, and somebody else picked it up and knocked it forward, and that thing just happened to bounce into my hands. I was in the right spot at the right time. It's probably a good thing it wasn't 70 yards, because I think I was going to get caught from behind.
What was it like playing for Coach John L. Smith? What type of coach was he?
John L. was a good guy. It was a different style of football from kind of what it is at Michigan State now, with kind of ground and pound, defense is strong. It was kind of a spread it out. It was kind of the beginning of that whole transition thing.
Eric, when you look back at your career at Michigan State, what's your favorite memory? Is there a game or a play or something off the field that you will always remember?
Honestly, it's probably after we beat Notre Dame my senior year and celebrating, running down Notre Dame's field with that flag. Oh, it was crazy. Everybody was celebrating, jumping around. It was great.
Talking with Eric Smith, Michigan State safety from 2002 to 2005. And Eric, you said that Mark D'Antonio recruited you to come play at Michigan State. Do you ever come back to East Lansing and catch a game or two?
I used to come back all the time for the golf outing and the spring game, but now the coaching, I haven't had as much time to come back as I'd like. But I still talk to D'Antonio at least once a year, if not more.
What do you think of the job Coach D'Antonio has done during his time at Michigan State?
Oh yeah, he's done an excellent job, and from what I knew from through the whole recruiting process, he's a great guy, and he's going to do great things. And he's back to making you super proud to wear your Michigan State stuff.
You were drafted in the third round of the 2006 NFL Draft by the New York Jets. Was that a dream come true for you, especially after having to battle through all those injuries at Michigan State?
It definitely was. It was exciting. I still don't believe it happened, but it was probably the least stressful draft day because I didn't expect to go to like fourth, fifth round, and then to get the call in the third. It was great. We were actually setting up for the party the next day because everybody was coming over. We thought because I thought I was going to be drafted day 2, and I'm outside setting some stuff up, and I hear the phone ring, and my mom answers it, and she comes running out the door, and she's screaming like, "Eric, Eric!" I answered the phone, and I think it was either Tannenbaum or Mangini on the phone, and I was almost in shock.
That's the story of Eric Smith, Michigan State safety from 2002 to 2005, where he would be named team captain while leading the Michigan State defense. Eric would be drafted in the third round of the 2006 NFL Draft, where he would play 7 seasons and be named team captain for the New York Jets. Eric, thanks so much for taking time out of your day to relive your fantastic career.
All right, thank you.